Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Saturday that his latest conversation with U.S. President Donald Trump this week was the best and most productive he has had to date. We discussed air defense issues, and I'm grateful for the willingness to help, he said. Zelensky said the two leaders on Friday had discussed, quote, several other important matters that officials from the two sides would be considering in forthcoming meetings.
I don't want to see 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 soldiers killed every week.
Trump told reporters on Friday that he had a good call with Zelensky, but he also expressed his disappointment after a separate call with Russian President Vladimir Putin over what he said was Moscow's lack of willingness to work toward a ceasefire. Trump said he spoke to Putin about the possibility of more sanctions.
What does he say? I would say he's not thrilled with it, but, he's been able to handle sanctions, but these are pretty biting sanctions. Now, we talk about sanctions a lot.
Russia has intensified air attacks on Kyiv and other cities in recent weeks. Moscow's forces launched the largest drone attack of the 40-month-old war on the Ukrainian capital hours after Trump's conversation with Putin on Thursday.
At least 24 people have been killed after torrential rains unleashed flash floods along the Guadalupe River in Texas on Friday. That's according to local officials, who added that rescue teams are scrambling to save dozens trapped by high water or reported missing in the disaster. Authorities say some of the missing are listed as unaccounted for at an all-girls Christian summer camp located on the banks of the rain-engorged Guadalupe. Here's Texas Governor Greg Abbott speaking at a press conference late on Friday.
We're going to make sure we get information to families as quickly as we possibly can. But most importantly, we will stop at nothing to ensure that every asset and person and plane and whatever is needed is going to be involved in the process of rescuing every last person and ensure everybody involved in this is going to be fully accounted for.
He added that resources devoted to the effort would be limitless.
Oh, that's terrible. The floods. It's shocking.
Speaking aboard Air Force One, President Donald Trump said, quote, "We'll take care of them," when asked about federal aid for the disaster. The U.S. National Weather Service declared a flash flood emergency for parts of Kerr County in south-central Texas Hill Country, about 65 miles northwest of San Antonio, after thunderstorms that dumped up to a foot of rain. Dalton Rice, the city manager for Kerrville, said the extreme flooding struck before dawn with little or no warning, which prevented authorities from issuing advance evacuation orders as the Guadalupe quickly rose above the major flood stage. State emergency management officials warned as early as Thursday that West and Central Texas face heavy rains and flash flood threats over the next couple of days, citing National Weather Service forecasts ahead of the holiday weekend.
I'm incredulous. I'm also furious about this attempt to dismantle our national parks and public lands.
Beth Pratt is the executive director of the California branch of the National Wildlife Federation, a nonprofit conservationist group. She says budget cuts proposed by the Trump administration would be devastating to the nation's national parks, including historic and picturesque sites such as Yosemite.
When I was a little girl, and I can bet you no matter how you vote, the majority of the American public has had a similar experience. I would look at those picture books of national parks, Yosemite, Yellowstone, you name it, the Grand Canyon, and make lists that I still have to visit them. I think it's an American tradition to go camping, fishing, you name it, in a national park, go hiking. And how dare we mess with that?
A massive Republican bill slashing taxes and social services and boosting military spending would cut more than $1 billion from the National Park Service's budget in 2026. That would represent a cut of more than a third of its budget from the prior year. Pratt said cuts to critical services would have an immediate and negative impact.
If you're cutting a third of the budget, you're effectively dismantling the protections of this place. You're dismantling a lot of the National Park Service and the infrastructure that keeps these places protected.
Multiple Park Service employees told Reuters that morale is low amid a high degree of uncertainty, but would not comment on the record for fear of retaliation.
Oh, elle est hyper chaude. Elle est hyper chaude.
Elle est hyper chaude.
Moi j'ai mis un bain d'une pièce. Elle est pas, hein. Alors. Je vais en maillot rouge, c'est là. Ah bon?